Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. This is day 7 of a day in October. I'm going to be using Halloween Harvest. I got a bunch of these pads on a super good discount from Honeybee. And mostly I got it for the ghost sheet because it's so cute. But I'm going to be using this Harvest Haul stamp set from Newton's Nook that I got this year. And the pieces of paper that I showed you, because it's actually not going to be a Halloween card. I wanted to kind of show you how I work on when I'm like mass producing. This is my Twiddler's Nook pressure pal. I'm going to link it down below as I usually do, because you should have one if you have a stamping platform. I wanted to send out fall cards to like family and friends and things like that. So I wanted to mass produce. I was looking for a cat hair to pick off of my stamp because I could tell I kind of stamped on a cat hair. I wanted to send fall cards to family, and so this is I bought this set for that purpose just because it was a inexpensive smaller set. And so I'm going to be mass producing some of them, maybe like 16 or so. And so I cut my paper down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, like I usually do to kind of fit in there. And then I'm stamping 2 on each one to save paper. So that worked out. You just flip it over and then stamp it again. And 1 ink pass for all of these worked out just fine. And then I paused while I did the rest of them because you don't need to see that a bunch of times. And now I'm going to color in one of them on camera for you. I didn't do all the others yet. I need to complete them, obviously, but I'll be putting together one of the cards for you. I am using like 99% tri-blends here, and the aqua blue blend I think is my favorite of the blue teal options, like even out of the blue green teal options. This one blends the best. It has the best dark to mid to light to where it's not too stark. A couple of the other ones, the dark to the mid is too far apart. The mid needs to be closer to the dark, but you can usually work on that with just a little extra blending. But the aqua blue blend is my favorite one. And I painted previously, I believe through Let's Make Art. I didn't have the kit, but I did find the outline and the video, and I did a watercolor painting very similar to this, but like more realistic and bigger. But basically a truck with like flowers in the back, but it was a teal truck with the tires and everything that you see here. And I really enjoyed doing that, and it was really fun. I think it turned out pretty good. But like the teal truck with this stuff in the back kind of became, I don't know, kind of like an icon. I just kind of saw it everywhere. Maybe not as iconic as like the red Christmas truck with the tree coming out the back from a number of years ago that has kind of stuck around as an icon for Christmas patterns. But anyway, I figured the teal would work with the fall colors and with the orange because it's blue. So I decided to use the orange blend on the pumpkins. There is a burnt orange blend. It's just not as bright, obviously. It's a little more dull. So I think I prefer this one for pumpkins. Unless I'm doing a mix of pumpkin colors, then I would use the burnt orange as well. And then I grabbed my dark red blend for the apples. And then coloring in the pumpkins like I normally do, from top to bottom toward the middle. And then I'm just using the dark end of the citrus green to fill in the stem. Later I was going through the markers I set aside to make sure I had all of them, because I have to color this like 15 more times, and I want to make sure I know which markers I use, but I realized that I could just refer back to this video. Sometimes that's why I like filming, because I've gone back to my own videos several times to either see how I did something, what color I colored something, or if I owned something. So I went through either like a Lawn Fawn collection video, because I don't have like a spreadsheet or an app or anything like that of all my stamps. I think that's a bit much. I did that with my books and that was insane. But I don't have anything like that, and I was at work and I needed to know if I already had a stamp set or something. So I went through my like most recent collection video and figured out if I did or not. So having these videos is handy for a number of reasons. So I'm using the dark red blend or dark red blends. I don't know if it has an S on it for the apples. And then the dark red shades I'll be using on the blanket, and it actually turned out really pretty. Kind of having both of those in the same image. And then I realized these are probably like taillights or something. I don't know. I colored them gray. And then I'm going to be using the ice gray shades. I usually use ice gray shades for stuff that's supposed to be black because I don't want it to totally disappear. Like I'm not going to grab the black Copic and color it in. I want it to have kind of a shade, because if you were to actually see a tire out in the daylight, yes, it's black, but with all the light on it, you know, it can be perceived as like gray. I don't know. Maybe I'm making things up. And then BG10 is my go-to for glass. So just to have it not be white, I think it looks more like a windshield that way. I thought about using glossy accents to go over the windshield part to make it shiny, but I think it's just there's too many nooks and crannies in there and I probably wouldn't be able to do it properly. So on this one I used the darkest, once I figured out which end was dark, the darkest for the stripes, and I had the mid color on the stripes going the other way, and then the lightest color I was coloring in the squares with. But then the mid and the lightest were too close to each other in this scenario, so I decided to go back over all of the stripes with the darkest and then leave the lightest red, and I think that turned out really nice for like a fall picnic blanket. So I cut that out with the die cut. And I used my handy dandy wonky stitched stacks from MFT, and I did the second size down. And then this is just me being lazy and not wanting to get out my paper trimmer. This is just another way that you can accurately size pattern paper to the background of a card or other cardstock. Just put the tape runner on your card base and then find the edges properly. And then just get scissors that you trust and don't cut your fingers off, please. And then just trim along the card edge, and then it's accurate. And you don't have to worry if your card base is the wrong size or something. And then I realized that this was the same size as the bottom of the card, so I decided to decorate the inside of the card with a strip of the other side of the paper. I thought that was kind of cute. And then it was too long, so I trimmed off the end. So there's another way to cover a card front. Not that you needed to know that. And then I decided to lift this up on foam tape. And I was only going to do 3 rows of foam tape because I was like, it doesn't need that much support. These are also going to go through the mail, so I will probably fully support all of them anyway. But then I realized I did not stamp my sentiment yet because I'm a dum-dum. So I'm going to give it full support so that when I do stamp it, I don't have wonky support and have the sentiment stamp not stamped properly. So I am going to stick this down and then use tape runner instead of glue on the back of my truck to stick that down. I'm just really not into my liquid glue right now. And the tape runner works just fine. I also get cheap refills of the tape runner on Amazon because it's way cheaper. And to be honest, the 3M ones are the ones that are often doubled over halfway through. And then it's a waste because they ruined it in the making of it and then I waste a whole half of a reel because they double backed over and then it just doesn't come out right anymore. And I haven't had that problem with the cheap alternative ones, so you tell me why. One go through on the sentiment was covered good enough. And so I'm going to do white accents and then call that good. So I'm trying not to overdo them, but I also want them to kind of be symmetrical and match on each side. I'm also being very careful so as not to smear what I've already done. So I have to turn it all sorts of ways. And I don't want to do too many because too many white accents is just kind of ridiculous. But I really liked how it turned out, so I think I came up with the right amount. And yeah, so the other ones will be obviously very similar, except the background paper, the pattern paper will be different. So I'll just alternate those, and hopefully I get through making these and send them out in time soon. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. Bye.